Stugotz here. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love a good gummy. Whether I'm on the golf course or winding down after a long day of carrying the show on my back, all I need is one good gummy to help me totally relax. And now, thanks to my good friends at CBDMD, getting Delta 9 THC gummies shipped directly to your door is not only possible, it's easy and affordable. How about that? Every CBDMD Delta 9 gummy is packed with 10 milligrams of THC per gummy, and let me tell you, buddy, they work. CBDMD also has Delta 9 microdose capsules that feature 1 milligram of THC, so it's easy to enjoy them whenever, wherever. And listen, I know it's easy to get confused with all the different Deltas out there, but Delta 9 THC is the same good old-fashioned THC we've all known and loved for years. To learn more about Delta 9 and everything else CBDMD has to offer, just head to cbdmd.com/Dan. Once again, that's cbdmd.com/Dan for information, education, and the best damn gummies you've ever had. Must be 21 years or older to purchase Delta 9. Do-do-do-do.
For some reason, Stugotz has decided to get us started today with the Addams Family theme.
Yes, it helps. It works out the voice, Dano. It really does. Do-do-do-do.
What did you used to do on the drive up here in order to work out the voice when it would be haggard after a couple of days off and a ton of heaters?
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. All guests courtesy of the Shell Pennzoil Performance line, whatever it was. I forget. Was it Shell Pennzoil Performance?
I think you got, yes, I think you got it right. But I can also hear that you haven't been practicing. I can hear the. It sounds like it needs some help. I thought of you this weekend because
thank you.
I saw a video that made me laugh. It really was a vibe. Alex Jones outside the courthouse, like just sucking a heater and yelling at the mainstream media that, they're frauds and pirates. And somebody said to him, "You're on trial." And he took a drag and said back, "You're on trial." and the reporter said, "No, but you're actually on trial. Like your big company has had to file bankruptcy because you need bankruptcy protection from the $150 million that parents of Sandy Hook want."
But what is it exactly that made you think of me? Was it the heater, the courthouse, the fraud, all of it? Like, what was it?
It was all of it. First, it was the cigarette, first of all, because it was just odd the way he was sort of. You have to see it to see how he was smoking it. He wasn't just smoking it. He was taking drags before he went in and did the interviews, and he was looking to be combative as they told him he was on trial, and he says, "No, you're on trial." And it called them pirates as he's filing for bankruptcy and as the world falls down around him, but still defiant to the very end. All of it. Just quintessential Jones.
The verb ripping heaters has never applied more because he's just sort of aggressively taking a rip from a heater. I thought the most Stugotzian element of what you described was him having an instant response ready for "you're on trial," and him, without missing a beat, saying, "No, you're on trial." Stugotz is the king of having those instant responses. So
it's something I would say.
Did you go out to camp this weekend, Whittingham? Because a couple of different things happened. An offensive lineman crushed a couple of cans on his head.
What?
And Tyreek Hill did a backflip.
Well, and Tyreek Hill caught a 65-yard bomb from Tua,
Dolphin
sending
fans,
the entire internet into a frenzy.
Relax, Dolphin fans. I mean, Jesus, I'm the biggest Dolphin. Like, I'm excited about that, but it was just like overkill, like one bomb. Jesus.
Can I say this? The Dolphins won training camp. They won the opening of training camp. Tua looked good. Tyreek Hill was getting the crowd all fired up. Like, listen, the Dolphins have been boring for 2 decades. Dan and I talk about it all the time. And Tyreek Hill has given that franchise an injection of excitement. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if he's going to be any good. I have no idea if Tua is going to be any good. But for a moment, they were exciting, and they won the first day of training camp. And it's about time they won something.
Jessica, why are you looking at and laughing at Stugotz?
Well, I just, it's funny that they won training camp. I live in Miami now. I didn't see any of this. Like, none of this broke through. And I get served Dolphin shit on Twitter more than you could believe, and none of this broke through. I didn't see any of.
Oh, but it's because you're not in the Dolphin echo chamber. We can all pick our own echo chambers, and you're in the Steelers echo chamber. I'm sure if something happened at Steelers camp, you would have heard about it. But we have a lot of shared followers.
You need to follow Omar Kelly, okay?
Well, I did see one thing that broke through to my side of Twitter from Omar Kelly, which was the selfie that your father was in, Chris.
Mike McDaniel just loves being a coach. He's enjoying it so far. He's working the media, trying to get on their good side. A group selfie, my dad in the back.
Wait until he's 0-4.
Yes, wait until the games are played. It's easy when you're winning training camp, when all you're beating is your own defense with 65-yard passes.
Playing into the self-involvement of sports reporters, A1 move. For an NFL head coach.
Who wants a selfie?
Right, exactly. Who wants a selfie? 30 people are in his pocket now by merely putting them in a photograph that was tweeted by some people.
Did you see my dad in that photo? He might as well have been nude.
I saw a whole lot
excited.
of preening people, thrilled, who I haven't seen in a long time.
The coach cares about me. He acknowledged my existence. Wow, that's so different than what Joe Philbin did to me.
And Brian Flores, who was not very nice. And also in the background, having aged some, but not as much as everyone else in the room, Kim Bocamper.
Oh boy, Kimbo,
looking like a hoss.
Yeah, I mean, what else? What else is he? He's not capable of looking like anything but a hoss.
He'll be a hoss when he's 90.
He's got to be 70 now.
No way.
You don't think so?
If he's
Kimbo?
70, he looks amazing. I'm guessing 57, 58.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's 67.
Wow.
Wow.
He looks great.
Amazing.
My dad and him are like the same age. Wow.
That prism, that is quite the contrast.
That is as ridiculous a thing as has been uttered. Tyreek Hill tells the NFL Network that he and the other receivers make up the fastest group of receivers of all time. On that play, Chris, what made Dolphin fans extra excited wasn't just that an accurate connection, our quarterback has arm strength, there's the deep pass, but everyone saw that Jalen Waddle was streaking wide open across the middle because they should be hard to cover. They've got skill position players that, if they're healthy, are dangerous. And the guy who clocked the fastest time at camp was Mostert. It wasn't either one of them. It wasn't Hill or Waddle. And what these people have brought is an enthusiasm that has not been seen around here, I don't think, this century.
To watch a training camp practice and a crowd of people, thousands of people, jump up and down because their quarterback completed a 65-yard pass, flawlessly floating it in the air into the stride of Tyreek Hill, the safety who's becoming a really good player, Javon Holland, by the way. He tweets out, "In Tua we trust." His fellow members of the secondary tweeting out the same thing. There's almost like a cult-like, I mean, the 2-1 thing has sort of been a joke, but there is now even further a cult-like following for this Dolphins team, and I'm kind of stunned, similar to how we ran into the buzzsaw of Jacksonville Twitter last week, that there even can still be this enthusiasm summoned for the Miami Dolphins, who have not won a playoff game since the year 2000.
Can I swing back to Chris Cody for just a second? Dolphin fans, relax, okay? I mean, seriously. He's wearing a red jersey. No one can touch him. No one puts pressure on him. Congratulations on being an NFL quarterback who was supposed to be one of the great quarterbacks ever to come out of college. Congratulations on being able to throw the ball 60 yards. I mean, everyone relax. Step back and relax.
I love the red jersey at training camp and practice. We should have something around here where like you get a red shirt and no one can make fun of you for that week. You're just like, you're safe.
I love that idea, like a golden helmet of life that you can pull out of the grid of death bucket, and then no one can make fun of you for like a week.
Like you see Aaron Rodgers and Bakhtiari just like live, and it's just that red jersey. You can't pull that move off. You can't drive a golf cart around dancing, okay, if you're not Aaron Rodgers in that red jersey.
But I can be mad at Stugotz because it's been 25 years since there was anything worth celebrating around here, and he's got to be not first but second to relax. He got excited on the front end. He's like, they completed a pass, and immediately
he announced that they won training camp, and then was immediately telling everyone to relax.
Before the end of the take, he takes the other side of this, so he's got everything covered, all of it flimsily. Just strong opinions everywhere, many of them contradicting each other. They won training camp, relax. Nobody was saying they won training camp until this show right here off of one pass.
I'm having a conversation with myself.
But Whitty was just kind of saying how excited every year when Ryan Tannehill would connect with Mike Wallace for a 60-yard bomb, the Dolphins, those dumb fans were all like, whoa, we're back.
That's fine.
They knew, Chris.
This is not the U is back for 20 years. This is different. I'm not saying, I actually have said that I have expectations for this team and I expect them to be good. But in this conversation, I'm not even projecting that far. I'm simply not extinguishing what has replaced a profound apathy and indifference that is the worst thing that you can have on your team. Hate, anger, all of that stuff is better than what the Dolphins have had for a long time, because when you make them uninteresting, when you make them not exciting, there's no reason to watch. Seasons are over before they get started. This one has started early. We have not had a season start early around here with enthusiasm since they traded for Ricky. There has maybe Parcells somewhere in there.
I think that offseason where Nick Saban came in and they signed Dante Culpepper was a really exciting one. I know that, like, in retrospect, that seems preposterous, but the fan base was really excited about that. But yeah, it's been a really long time. Maybe, after they made the playoffs under Adam Gase, there was a moment where people were excited for how the team would kick on from there. But again, I was caught off guard. I know that those fans that show up for training camp practice, by the way, should be commended. I don't want to call them dumb or stupid. Like, showing up in 100-degree heat to go and watch the Miami Dolphins practice. I've been to training camp practice. It's a boring slog.
Tyreek Hill is doing backflips, grabbing a microphone, and Tyreek Hill is very clearly interested in being the lead voice and face for this team and propping up Tua with him. And he's doing the interviews. He's talking more than I've seen a Dolphin ever talk. He's in more places.
Promoting a podcast.
He is very interested in being a star in Miami who is part of this rejuvenation, and he was excited. Why should we temper that when it just got here and we've been waiting for it for 20 years? I'm not going to temper it. Yeah, you could fear it if you want. The season with expectations, these guys he's had it, Hill's had it. The rest of these guys, they don't know what a season of expectations is like, of real expectations. It buried and finished the Browns. This kind of coverage finished the Cleveland Browns. They could not withstand it with a quarterback who similarly was taken very high, similarly was doubted, similarly was injured, and similarly has been someone that has a very small window now after the lack of expectations are now replaced by giant expectations because the nation is paying attention to this team. And every week they're trending for something, and it's just not something that happened the last 20 years.
But, Dan, I would say Tyreek Hill, you're right. He's used to the expectations. I would also say different level, but Tua, Jalen Waddle playing at Alabama, they are used to expectations headed into a season.
But no, yes, expectations is one thing, but when you're always better than everybody, it's real easy to meet those expectations. And when you have all the best players, it's easier to meet those expectations. And no, Alabama, Nick Saban can be that at Alabama. You saw what Nick Saban was in the pros. It's minor league football. It is not the same thing. And whatever the expectations are on Tua this year, they're the largest of his career because his dreams go poof or they're realized this year. That's whatever it is he's been working for all his life. Well, it's not, I don't know if it was Heisman Trophy. I'm guessing it's to play professionally and to be one of the 12 guys in this league who matter at that position.
I'm just stunned. I really am surprised that we got here. And in some ways, listening to you talk about it that way does kind of make me almost want to sign up for the hurt again. I think a lot of what I do as a Dolphins fan is kind of brace against the hurt. I don't want to buy into expectations. I don't want to get excited.
What you do is interesting. It's a real protective coping mechanism after years of scars where you diminish the expectations to such a place that you can't be hurt by disappointment. You can't be hurt by it because you don't care as much. It's the worst thing a fan base can be. It's what the Dolphins have done to large swaths of their fan base. We don't want to be hurt anymore.
And I watched Tua in his first, so I had genuine expectations for Tua when he stepped on the field. I thought he was a better prospect than Herbert, a better prospect than Burrow. Herbert's been the best of the lot, and Burrow made the Super Bowl. So I was really in on Tua Tagovailoa. But at the same time, when he stepped onto the field, he did not look special. At no point to me has he looked special in the 2 seasons or the season and a half that he's gotten a chance to be the Dolphins quarterback. And I guess what I don't allow myself to do is twist myself into knots hoping that he's better than he's proven to be so far. And I don't go into the season thinking, oh, he's going to make a significant step forward because of a coach and a new receiving group and a new left tackle and a new running back. I just think he's going to be the guy that he's shown so far. I could be very wrong because there is a real possibility that Brian Flores, in sticking him with George Gotze and Chan Gailey and these terrible offensive coaches and with the worst offensive line in the history of Pro Football Focus and wide receivers that aren't game breakers, that maybe there was a limitation of Tua along the way. But until he proves it in regular season games, I'm not going to allow myself to get wrapped up in this enthusiasm.
Where he hasn't really shown is athletically, right? Accuracy wise, hasn't he been good? It's statistically
very short distance. He's not proven to be a game changing playmaker. I know he's got there's this number that's thrown around that he's accurate on deep passes, but you don't watch him does an opposing defense respect Tua going down the field? They don't. They don't respect the Dolphins offense.
They haven't had to. I suspect they will have to now. We may be wrong about this. I want to get through some of the analytics on this and how poorly we do some of this stuff as Stugotz steps up his analysis by saying we don't know what they're going to be, and he's right. It's one of the reasons they're so interesting. They are a curiosity and a mystery. And if you thought the hyperventilation last year and the perspectivelessness that arrived every week was weird and too much last year, wait until you see what happens with every single game this year. If they start 4-4, people are going to be just bouncing all over the place on what their analysis is because all of this has gotten fast forwarded. When you make the noise this loud and the expectations this loud and you buy your way into the national game after being a regional team, if they start 0-2, they're going to be on all the televisions. If they start 2-0, they're going to be on all the televisions. If you think this league is covered in a way that has a giant lack of perspective in it, wait till you see how the Dolphins are covered this year. And I can't wait for it, Chris, because it isn't about tempering my expectations. I want the team of my childhood to matter. They have not mattered. They have been a speed bump for this league and this division for old enough for an entire sports fan's life who's 20 to not have any idea that the Dolphins were ever any good, to have no access to it. You've got an entire generation of sports fans so hungry for something that feels like hope that this is the year that I will not extinguish it. I've been doing it successfully and correctly for so long, but I'm not doing it this year.
You mentioned the first 4 games. It got me to look at the schedule. Oh, no.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I have it up 1-3.
Patriots, Ravens, Bills, Bengals, first 4 games.
They had
Then the Jets.
You talk about the swinging narratives. The opening game with the Patriots, I heard 10 minutes of Mac Jones talk over the weekend. Totally new guy, committed to an offseason workout
Return
program.
of the Mac.
Doesn't have the flab anymore. But, there is a whole thing that Matt Patricia might be their play caller. However...
but Belichick he's put in quotes, massive improvement, right? Or dramatic improvement. Belichick doesn't talk that way very often.
They can't have a worse start than last season, though, right? You can get through 1-7.
We did lose to Urban Meyer last year, so
in London.
So many seasons here have ended before they've started.
Yeah.
And you can mention and be correct with Nick Saban and Dante Culpepper, and even Tua's first year. You can say that they've come in with some flickers of hope, but it has not been this. Maybe Culpepper was something close to this. I might be willing to grant you that. I just can't remember this early in a season the promise of, is it going to be an exciting, creative offense? Is it going to be a fast offense? Are they going to actually score points because they can run the ball and throw it?
Chris, if you could just get past those first 4 games, though, at 2-2.
Talk to me.
2-2. Then you're talking about the Jets, the Vikings, the Steelers, the Lions, the Bears,
We are
the
back.
Browns, the Texans. Little bye week, little revenge game against the San Francisco 49ers for McDaniel. I mean, it is all out there for the Dolphins to go get. What?
Staring 5-4 right in the
just told
face.
them to relax.
I did.
That early season schedule, though, woof.
Well,
Pats, Ravens, Bills, Bengals.
But
Jesus.
let's talk about the difficulties in making the assessment, because last week we were laughing as a fantasy player that Tua is a chaos player. I don't play fantasy, so I don't know if that is a term that is thrown around very much with fantasy players, but I did think it was perfect to describe him as that, because you just don't know whether he's going to be 21st in the league at his position in fantasy points, or whether or not coaching and wide receivers and development of Waddle and Gesicki as a third or fourth option, as opposed to what he's been, which is the first place Tua looks because he doesn't have any time and he's got to throw it to a giant guy. When Jerry Jones says, Stugotz, I'm curious about this. You have said recently, and you've flip-flopped a lot on this, whether Jerry Jones is a good general manager or not. And he certainly had plenty of chances and tries to do it. He's meddlesome, and they haven't done a whole lot of winning in the quarter century since Jimmy Johnson, who goes into the Hall of Fame this week, was there. But Jerry Jones says that Zeke Elliott has to be the focal point of their running game. And I saw some stats from Warren Sharp, and basically what Ezekiel Elliott has done over the last couple of years is he gets what's blocked and nothing more. Per attempt over expectation is a stat that is now used that we did not use a while ago, where everyone's watching every play and telling you what you should be getting if you're an average running back. All Zeke Elliott is getting. Now, I'm looking, and I think my eyes are lying to me, because I'm watching Pollard, and I'm like, he seems more efficient. He seems like he's getting more out there. But Jerry Jones, the general manager, is telling you, against all the advanced stats, they've got to center it around Ezekiel Elliott. And so when Jerry Jones says that, he should know more than all of us, right? He's watching all the time, and I'm assuming that he knows more than all of us. When it comes to the Dolphins, Whitty, I don't believe that what they're putting out there publicly, that they would be doing it just to buoy their quarterback's confidence. There are too many voices seeing whatever it is they're seeing in practice, knowing what it is that they're watching more than us. It's another reason that the hope gets inflated for me, because it's not just Hill and Waddle. You hear that locker room. We are going to go out there this week, correct, Whittingham? We're going to go out there one day this week?
Yeah, we're hoping to get some stuff with the Dolphins where we can go out and check it out for a day, maybe talk to some people there within the organization. But yeah, I think there has been a charm offensive. I will say there was one last offseason as well, and it didn't lead to much.
Not like this, though. Not these words where they are inflating the expectations. And Tannenbaum, the ex-GM, is saying, don't do that. That's bad for Tua. And I'm saying, look, man, stack all the expectations on him. He can either handle or he can't. Like, the expectation, he's in I've got to save my career mode. And it's not particularly fair. I don't think there's been enough time to make accurate evaluations, but that league's not fair.
But, Dan, what do you want the Dolphin players to say? It's July. They're trying to encourage their quarterback. They're trying to make the quarterback feel good headed into the regular season. But you fall into this trap a lot, I feel like you do, that Tyreek Hill knows more than Dan Le Batard. No, he doesn't. Okay, Tyreek Hill is guessing like the rest of us. Eventually, you have to go out on a field, regular season, play games against those 4 teams to start the season. And Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they might think Tua's going to be good, but they have no idea until they get out there and he takes the red jersey off. They don't know. No one knows. No one.
What you're defending there is not me. You're defending your right to have no information and know as much as others.
Well, thank you for seeing right through me.
Because Tyreek Hill does know more than I do. He has vastly more information. He's catching the football, and it's not just him. It's what Whittingham said. Now, no, this stuff isn't being volunteered. They are being asked about it. And they do need to say something, but nobody's sitting it out, and the praise seems a little flowery given what we've seen so far from Tua ourselves.
Well, Javon Holland did volunteer it because he just tweeted it. one day. He wasn't asked by the media. He just tweeted out, "In Tua we trust," and that is a level of enthusiasm.
This is so July what we're doing right now, even though it's August.
Even though it's August,
it is. We're just like, these are such benign tweets. Like, obviously, this guy's gonna into who we trust.
No,
like,
but
this is
to Dan's point. Like, you can give boilerplate answers. You cannot tweet into who we trust. You can just say, "Oh, we had a great offseason. We worked really hard, got after it in practice." Like any NFL player is trained to give boring ass answers, but for whatever reason, this team has decided we're going to go all in on our quarterback with little evidence.
I can't believe it's taken this long to really talk about the most important thing of all the Dolphins coverage this weekend. Everyone gets excited about that 65-yard bomb to Tyreek Hill, goes super viral on the internet. What should have gone viral is that person being banned from training camp. In that frame, you see a sign that very clearly says, no video, no cell phone video. This is propagandist, and the person responsible, I believe it's a journalism major from FIU, should be banned from Dolphins facilities forevermore.
Oh, what are you doing?
There's a
we can't be on this side of the argument.
What are you doing?
Lawbreaker.
We can't be on this
so
side.
something I would do.
He's a co-op.
I mean, NFL coaches need to get over themselves. Apparently, they've given out rules of you can't report who's in what session and you can't tweet a video. Like, what are we doing?
Golf did this too a few months back when Roy and I went out to that golf tournament. I posted some videos out there doing content, trying to grow their sport. We got a bunch of emails. Hey, you can't be releasing. Like, we had to take videos down.
F1 is the same way. You can't take videos in the paddock. You can't take videos.
Hey, we're trying to promote your sport, okay? Golf.
Exactly.
You're trying
Chris.
to promote you.
You're welcome.
Well, congratulations. You just got two single high safeties week 1. Hope you're happy.
Chris, Cody, do you have any idea why those rules are in play as you think that you should be able to videotape whatever it is that
I
you
should
want?
be able to be looking at some guy putting and acting like I'm Jim Nance and being like, hello, friends. This guy's putting right now.
Okay,
why can't I do that?
You have. Do you know why you
Especially
can't do
because it was
that?
on NBC, maybe.
That is correct. They pay lots of money for the exclusive rights so that no one else can have the video.
But I'm not going live with it. I was posting it after. It was like live to tape. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous rule.
But like a fan can do it. But if you have a credential, then it's like off limits. That's what doesn't make a ton of sense. If you're a fan at the Formula One race and you're posting videos of the track, like they're not going to stop you. But if you're working in the media and they see it, they might try to stop you. They might kick you out.
They don't want media companies that aren't paying for it to be able to do things that the media company that is paying for.
But a random person who might have like 1 million followers and be an influencer and watch the race has a different set of rules. That's why, in the modern era, it doesn't really make a lot of sense anymore. Like, if you're gonna watch the TV broadcast, you're not gonna follow along on someone's Instagram stories to see who won the race. It's not the same thing.
You don't think it makes sense for NBC to deny anyone to be able to use on television at a competing network in a sports space?
We're not talking about television.
No,
it's
but
social media.
I know, but you're saying it makes no sense to have these rules, and I'm saying TV can't take then what the influencer is doing and use that without permission from the league, without written consent. They're paying hundreds of millions of dollars for these rights. They don't want other media entities to get that stuff for free from wherever it is that they could get it. Fans is a different thing. Fans are actually doing more of what Chris Cody says, which is just spreading word of mouth publicity. They don't have a reason to ban that.
There are signs posted. Where are we as a society? We're blatantly filming signs that say "Do not film." Yeah.
It's because
where are your parents?
It's the Tua thing, isn't it? It's because of the one video where
raise these people. It's clear as day.
Why do you not want the video?
Because why put up the sign, Dan? There's a sign. Okay, these are the ground rules. I have entered a contract with this facility. My presence here is a binding contract that I will adhere to the rule of law. Now, we're just taking out our phones, flipping them willy-nilly out, and just filming away. You don't do that. You don't do that. What happens if he had an incompletion? What happens if he underthrew it?
No.
Then we have 2 weeks worth of content
The Dolphins
here.
have already taken care of that. You don't have to worry. They'll just tweet that from their own account when that happens.
You're 100% right, but Mike is so right. How about the poor guy that put up a sign that no one's paying attention to? I mean, that's not fair.
What are the most ignored signs in society?
Stop signs.
Yeah, but if I'm rolling through it, am I
A
kind of
yield
listening?
sign.
What do you mean?
No one yields.
People yield.
People yield more than they stop.
I don't need the sign to tell me to yield. The circumstances tell me to yield.
The person walking across.
There's a crosswalk. There's a roundabout. These are must-yield situations. I don't need a sign.
You'd be surprised how many people don't yield.
Yeah, I think every road sign has been developed as a result of people not having common courtesy on the road. That a yield sign has always been required. I don't think road signs are our game here in terms of signs that get ignored. It's got to be like, public places like sports stadiums and stuff like that where people just ignore, very common rules, and there's a sign up, but you're not paying attention to it.
Mine is the no smoking sign. I mean, that's it. Stugotz here. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love a good gummy. Whether I'm on the golf course or winding down after a long day of carrying the show on my back, all I need is one good gummy to help me totally relax. And now, thanks to my good friends at CBDMD, getting Delta 9 THC gummies shipped directly to your door is not only possible, it's easy and affordable. How about that? Every CBDMD Delta 9 gummy is packed with 10 milligrams of THC per gummy, and let me tell you, buddy, they work. CBDMD also has Delta 9 microdose capsules that feature 1 milligram of THC, so it's easy to enjoy them whenever, wherever. And listen, I know it's easy to get confused with all the different Deltas out there, but Delta 9 THC is the same good old-fashioned THC we've all known and loved for years. To learn more about Delta 9 and everything else CBDMD has to offer, just head to cbdmd.com/Dan. Once again, that's cbdmd.com/Dan for information, education, and the best damn gummies you've ever had. Must be 21 years or older to purchase Delta 9.
Dan Le Batard.
And finally, Fruit Loops are all the same flavor, just different colors. I refuse to believe that.
Is that right?
I refuse to believe it. I mean, try the grapefruit loop and tell me that doesn't taste different than the cherry one, because it does. I love Fruit Loops.
Stugotz.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Le Batard Show. Did you know that all of Fruit Loops were the same flavor, just different colors?
Refuse to believe it.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
We're presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and use code DAN for a special offer when you sign up. That's code DAN only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
I think all intersections should be those roundabouts. I agree. Those things are very efficient.
100% agree.
Enough with streetlights and the four-way stops. You just every intersection do that roundabout shit.
You've never been in a major city that has a roundabout though. I was around one in Mexico City.
Scary.
It's like 8 lanes wide and we're going in circles. Terrifying.
If you don't know what you're doing, that seems like a place. Every time I pulled up to one, and maybe because I'm unfamiliar and it's not how I drive in America, but every time I do it, I'm like, there must be more accidents here than there are at other intersections.
People are more careful. Regular intersections are actually extremely dangerous, Dan. We should all be abiding by the roundabout. There's roundabouts in a lot of like random municipalities and cities around the United States. And whenever I discover one, it's purely delightful.
We're not talking about these free-for-alls, because Whitty and I were in LA, and in like Hollywood Hills, there's this one intersection where it's like 5 roads, and it's just there's no roundabout. It's just
legitimately a free-for-all.
It's just like go for it, find your
circle,
street,
go.
But I'm talking about those things where it's like everybody's going right, and if you want to make a left, you got okay. I just want to make sure we were on the same page and we weren't talking about these free-for-alls, because these free-for-alls are terrifying.
We have some of those in Coconut Grove. There are a few of those. But can you guys, there must be information on this. In Pembroke Pines recently, according to insurance claims, the intersection at Pines and Flamingo, I think, was ruled the most dangerous intersection in the United States based on accidents. This was a couple of years ago. I don't know if it's still the case, but there must be a way to look up whether a regular intersection, put it on the poll, please, Chris, at Le Batard Show. What's more dangerous? And you guys want to explain what a roundabout is to the people so that they understand what it is? Because what's more dangerous, a roundabout or a regular intersection? Because people do go slower, but not people with confidence. People who are used to driving in the roundabout and going around in circles, they're very confident. They're more confident about what they're doing than I am as I get on it, because I do so with fear because I'm not used to it, and it's basically just a circle with stop signs and exits as well. But it's just it's what it sounds like.
When you're doing something with fear in your car, are you like bracing? You're like, oh, here I go. Like, are you like saying little noises before you do it?
No, you have to just have this. All right, I'm going. And you
it's a bad thing, like a bad rule to have with
in
driving.
Ride that at DuPont Circle, see how it goes.
In these roundabouts, you have to have an F it, I'm going mentality. Wow. By the way, the Florida Highway Administration reports that roundabouts reduced injury and fatal crashes by 78 to 82% compared to conventional intersections.
Yes, because you're going 15 miles per hour. You're not traveling at a high rate of speed.
No T-bones.
There's probably a lot of little fender benders, little bumper cart crashes and stuff. The roundabouts that always get me are the roundabouts that are about 3 lanes wide. Yeah. Because what am I supposed to do if I'm operating from the outside, but I need to get in the inside? I understand right of way to a degree.
That's what Whittingham is saying. You always have to be dangerous. You have to be worried because there's someone else who's not going to do what I do, which is this has happened to me a number of times. Oh, I'm going again. I'm going again on the roundabout. It looks like I'm going.
You just do the full circle.
Looks like I missed the place I was supposed to go. I'm not going to get those 3 lanes. Looks like I'm going to get another wee on the roundabout because I'm not someone who drives with a it mentality.
It is very forgiving of mistakes, the roundabout. You can just keep going. Say, all right, missed it that time. It's not like the guy who cuts across 4 lanes of traffic to make their left turn, even though there's a U-turn 500 yards
Mike,
up the road.
You showed some Monday morning restraint while laughing and hiding your laugh at the way that I described a roundabout poorly to the listening audience that might not know what a roundabout is.
Well, I mean, if you don't know what a roundabout is, it's so like a traffic circle. We don't need to get in the weeds in terms of painting a vivid picture. I know it's an audio medium, and sometimes, look, if we're talking about Bob Kuchenberg, I understand that there's going to need some context applied, but you need to give the listeners some credit.
We didn't give them anything on Kimbo Camper, Bo. We did not give them anything on the 67-year-old Kimbo Camper. I don't know, though, how common these are all around America. I associate them with foreign countries. Am I wrong about that?
I think they're traffic circles everywhere.
They're more modern now. Like if you see roadways that have been built up recently, you see more of them. At least in not major. Yeah, I don't see them like university. I'm naming random roads, but you don't see them at major intersections. Yeah, that's where I want them.
You see them in the suburbs, so people don't go speeding through your neighborhood, causing all sorts of racket. There are these things, Dan. They're called sidewalks, and they're basically highways for pedestrians.
I'm not talking about the little ones you find all over Hollywood. I'm not even talking about Hollywood Circle. I'm talking about the big ones, like in France, that feel like they're highways.
The Champs-Élysées?
Thank you. That was not helpful in any way.
Did I play the fancy lad sound for you?
L'Arc de Triomphe, actually.
You're right. That's my bad. I'm not going toe-to-toe with you on French.
No,
Learn my
right.
lesson.
It is the Champs-Élysées.
Oh, it was?
But the roundabout is
the roundabout is the
L'Arc
Arc.
de Triomphe.
Yeah.
That roundabout, I actually was a passenger in once. Holy shit. It seems like a free-for-all, but there is actually some order to it.
Because, Jessica, I think one of the distinctions being made here with Whittingham and the searching of the internet, I'm not talking about the places in Coral Gables where you're going 15 miles an hour. When I'm talking about fear and I'm talking about something
Coral
that
Gables has a very tricky traffic circle there, Dan. It's really bad. That's one of those 3-lane ones by Miracle Mile. Oh, my God, that one gets me almost every time.
I'm talking about what Jessica's saying. The free-for-all, something that feels like a highway that is a little harder.
It's just every street in Miami, though, Dan.
It's a little harder to convince me that is safer than an intersection. But when you talk about 75 or 80% safer, Whittingham, is it because in one of the instances in an intersection you might be going 45, and in all the others that you're talking about, other than the Champs-Élysées, you're talking about 15 miles per hour?
Well, it says here, a typical intersection has 32 conflict points, compared to only 8 at a roundabout. The 8 remaining are all same direction conflict points, exposing drivers to minor collisions such as side swipes instead of deadly head-on accidents.
No T-bones at a roundabout, basically. That's what we're trying to avoid here, folks.
Stugotz, are you willing and ready and able to do your weekend observations?
I am, Dan.
All right, we're going to do them next.